Good morning, everyone. Oberon and I are here with you a little bit late this morning. We had some technical difficulties earlier, but we're here now to do Lent in a bag. All right, come on in. Do you want to come cuddle? Oberon was being a bit of a diva and did not particularly wish to participate this morning, so I had to bribe him here with a treat. And his tail is knocking over the props. Okay. Well, I am definitely feeling like I need to set up some sacred space here so that I can focus and be with you all after kind of a rocky start this morning. So I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths and then we'll set the table together. Do you want to breathe with me? 3 really deep breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Sit up straight. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. So I like to start our Lent in a bags by reminding us that God is here with us. God, the Creator. God as Christ. This is what Obi knocked over earlier. It's not a great spot. We got a new stand for it, hoping that it would help. I don't know if that's working. There we go. So God as Creator, God as Christ, and our candle reminds us of God as Spirit. And that is Lent. That over there. Okay, so God is here with us. We are grounded, we are centered, we have overcome the challenges of Facebook Live not wanting to work this morning. Now let's start with Lent in a bag. This is our bag full of Lenti items. Our very first week, I want to make sure I have the right one. Yep. Yes, you know there's a rock in here, don't you? Yes. This is the sand, though. Yeah, that's the sand. That reminds us of the 40 days and nights that Jesus spent in the desert. And that is why Lent is for 40 days. 40 is a really important number in the Bible. The Israelites were wandering around their desert for 40 years. There are a lot of numbers in the Bible that keep repeating, and it's important that we pay attention to them. 12 is another number that's really important like that, because there were 12 tribes of Israel, 12 disciples. There are lots of things that repeat like that in the Bible that are supposed to remind us of something a little bit bigger. And the desert is one of those things as well. Okay, next we have the rock. This one is Oberon's favorite prop, as you all know. Yep, he's going to take that over to his bed. Thank you very much. Okay, so the rock reminds us of when Jesus was tempted to turn rocks into bread when he was really, really hungry out in the desert. Because if you haven't been to a desert before, it turns out there's not a lot of food there because the soil is super dry. It's just sand. You can't really grow anything. So that was our reminder of Jesus being tempted. Next, we have our human figure. And what was this a reminder of? This was a reminder that Jesus is God in human form. This is a reminder that we, the people of God, are to share God's love with others. And today, if I can find it, there it is. Ooh, it's a real candle. Fun. I like this. Today we're talking about candles. Mine's red. Ooh, it's scented. I'm not gonna light that right now, but I have this candle lit. Okay, so there's our scented red candle. If I light scented candles, Obi gets very interested and he'll try to sniff at it and lick it, and that won't end well. So let us figure out what this candle has to do with Lent. And again, thanks to Trisha Metlock and the Club 45 kids for putting this together for us. Let's see, the candle says, winter can be cold and dark. It's kind of feeling cold and dark tonight too, isn't it? And this is April. All right, spring is a time when we think of sunshine and warmth, like yesterday. Jesus is called the light of the world. Have you ever heard Jesus called that? It's a pretty common way of referring to him. So Jesus is called light of the world, and Jesus told his disciples to be the light of the world too, and to make a difference. Where do you shine? How can you encourage someone else to be a light? Ooh, I like that. Where do you shine? Obi, you have to be quiet with your rock, honey. Thank you. Obi shines when he is swimming, that is for sure. That's something that he does really well, and it brings lots of people joy to watch him. Let's see. Oh, Yendra's here. Hi, hooray for candles, and Trisha, and Club 45. Thanks for sharing this. Hi, Yendra. Glad you're here. So how can you encourage someone else to shine bright, to be their best selves, and to share God's love with others? That's a good question. We have a Bible story that goes with this that might help us to think about this a little bit more. We're going to read parts of Matthew chapter 5. Matthew is one of the four Gospels. His is the first of the four in the New Testament, but Matthew didn't write the Gospel first. Mark wrote his earlier. Not any of the Marks that work at our church. Really, really, really old, long time ago Marks. And Matthew was writing his Gospel for people who were really, really engaged in or part of the Jewish tradition. So a lot of his stories really have deep roots in the Jewish tradition, in the Jewish faith. And you can see that in how he tells the stories. So we're going to read from one of my new absolutely positively favorite children's Bible. And if you don't have one of these yet, talk to me. We'll work that out. This is called Growing in God's Love, a Story Bible. And Elizabeth F. Caldwell and Carol A. Wareham were editors. And they have a whole bunch of collaborators and a whole bunch of different artists, all from different cultures. So it's a really cool way of telling the Bible story. So we're going to read Salt and Light of Our World, which is based on Matthew chapter 15, verses 13 through 16. No, let's start again. Just a little salt can make many foods taste better. Eat some plain popcorn. Then shake a little salt on it and taste it again. Taste the difference? In a dark room, only one candle can spread a lot of light. Jesus talked about salt and light to his disciples. Jesus had much to teach the disciples so that they could help with his work. Perhaps one day, one of them said, "But Jesus, I don't understand. What do you want us to do in the world?" Jesus answered, "When you are my followers, you make a difference in the world. Be like salt for the earth. Salt gives foods flavor and brings out the goodness in them. It also preserves food so that you can keep it longer. But if salt is no longer salty, what good is it? It is no longer useful and will be thrown out. Be like a light for the world. A bright light on top of a mountain cannot be hidden. People don't light candles like this one and cover them up. Don't worry, that was battery operated. So they don't light candles and cover them up. Instead, they set the candle out on a table where it can light the way for everyone. In the same way, let the light of God's love shine on the people around you. Let them see your good actions and praise God in heaven." So that was from Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 16 in this Growing in God's Love Children's Bible. And what I really like about this Bible is not only is the artwork really, really fun, they also have on this side here, this hear, see, act way of responding to the stories. So we're going to do that. Here. What did you hear Jesus tell his followers? Why? Sorry, guys. Not enough coffee. Why does Jesus tell his followers to be like salt and light for the world? Do you remember why? Was it to make the world more bland and dark? No. It was to bring flavor, to bring out the best parts of what's already there and to light the way for others. All right, this one I want you all to respond in the comments. If you aren't watching it live, it's okay. I'll read back later on and we can talk in the comment section with your parents' permission. C. Where do you see people being like salt and light around you? I'll read that one more time. Where do you see people being like salt and light around you? Where do you see people adding flavor, making things better, shining bright, being their best selves? Can you share that with me in the comments when you have a chance? An act. How might you shine the light of God for others? That's a really good one. I like that question too. So not only what do you see other people doing, but what can you yourself do to bring light into the world? Well, last week we read a book, Maybe I Can Love My Neighbor Too, and Peter had a really great suggestion from that book of a way that we can share light and love with others. And that is through baking bread for folks, or not bread, but cooking for others. And I think that was a really good suggestion. Ooh, and Carla has one. Plymouth Pen Pals, yay! That is a fantastic way to share light and love and salt with others. You don't need to sprinkle salt into the letter. Your letter itself will be good on its own. So I actually have a little box of stationery here next to me with some cute cards. I had to order some new cards because the only ones I had left were actually Christmas cards. And while I did send a couple of those out, I decided to maybe get some cute ones. So today I'm actually going to write a letter to my friend Hermie, because I know sometimes she watches these because she loves Oberon, and I miss her. I miss seeing her. So I'm going to write Hermie a letter today. And you all, our Plymouth kids, are going to get an email from me. Well, your parents will get an email from me on Monday with someone for you to write letters to. And I also hear that there are people who are watching these videos that aren't from Plymouth, whether they are Jan's grandkids that she's sharing this with, or my friend Ken Ingram up in Wyoming is sharing these videos with some of his families from his church. You as well can write letters. You don't have to be a part of Plymouth to write these letters. Wherever you are, write a letter to someone who is older, someone who maybe lives in an assisted living facility, or maybe someone who you know who lives alone. Those folks could really use people reaching out and connecting. I have on my windowsill over here a whole bunch of letters that people have sent me in the last month. Some from my mom, my aunt, my husband's grandparents, who I'm just going to claim them as mine because I love them so much. And it really makes me feel good. So maybe that's a way for you all to share light in the world. So I'm going to write this letter to Hermie. But first, let's close out our time together. I really want to thank you all for joining. You didn't experience the technical difficulties, but I did, so I'm just going to say thank you for bearing with us as we got through that. I'm going to put our reminders of Lent back in here, our candle to remind us to shine bright and share God's love, our human figure, reminder of kindness, and Jesus being with us. All right, Oberon has the rock. Yes, you do, you have it. The reminder of God providing for us, and the reminder of the sand, the time in the desert. So those are all put away. It's time to blow out our candle. So I'm going to send God's love and peace to each of you who is watching this today. May you know that you are a blessing, that you are loved. Peace be with you. Thanks for joining. We'll see you Tuesday for story time. And if you have a request for a story that you want to have read, please send those my way. I will do my best to get your stories read. Bye.